Dr. Gerard Kho is a founder and CEO of the AQUILA Foundation and owner of Pelican Grammar School. He is the visionary leader behind the school establishment and growth. With extensive leadership experience from leading regional firms, he is committing to advancing Timor-Leste national development through education by strengthening institutional leadership, providing clear strategic direction, and implementing world-class educational standards. Pelican Grammar School is an international school in Timor-Leste that offers the Cambridge curriculum, providing students with the global standard of education. The school focuses on holistic development, nurturing academic excellence, creative leadership, and social responsibility in a supportive and innovative learning environment. Discover more about Dr. Kho inspiring vision and PGS journey by watching the full video on our YouTube channel, IP Business Podcast.
Hello, Mr. Gerard Kho. And by the way, in behalf of the company, Invest People, I would like to say thank you for to accept our interview, and as an honor to speak with Mr. Gerard Kho, because I found about what I researched about your progress during as an entrepreneur is wonderful, and because you're a visionary founder from AQUILA and CEO from Pelican Grammar School, an international school in Timor-Leste, serving both as a local and international students. I'd like to say thank you again, and it's an honor because you're the role model for other schools in our country.
Thank you very much for the invite. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure for me because it's an honor to speak with Mr. Gerard Kho from AQUILA. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Annie Reyes. I'm host from Invest People for the podcast, and so I will like to ask a few questions about your company and about Pelican Grammar School. So if you're comfortable to start now, it's going to be a pleasure for me to do this introduction and interview.
Sure. Not a problem. Thank you very much. How would I address you? What's the best way to address you?
Oh, can you call me just Ennio or Mr. Ennio? So it's fine for me. So.
Okay. Ennio.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ennio.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Can we start the interview if you're available, or like?
Yes, I can. I
okay.
can do that now. Yes.
Could you briefly introduce yourself and share the journey to lead your established AQUILA and the later Pelican Grammar School in Timor-Leste?
Sure. I arrived at Timor-Leste first time in about 2022, 2023. Heard a lot about Timor-Leste. I knew Timor-Leste from the owners of Pelican Paradise, who was doing the development in Timor-Leste. So I was invited to come to Timor to have a look at the country. And within the first time we saw the place, we fell in love with it. So our second trip, which was Timor-Leste, about 3-4 months after our first trip, we decided to set up a school. And that's how we started our journey in Timor-Leste, setting up a school here in Timor.
What motivated you to build a high-quality international school that guide students from early learning to around secondary education and serving both local and international students?
I think the first thing that impressed upon us was the number of schools that were already here. But we also saw that there was still a gap. And the biggest gap we saw was actually a school that was available for the local Timorese. And we wanted to build an international school for the local Timorese, not so much for the foreigners that were in Timor. Our group AQUILA looks at building schools in what we call frontier countries that are just about starting to develop. So that's why we call them frontier countries. And our focus is always in Southeast Asia only. So when we first came to Timor-Leste, we saw the kids, we saw what education system they were going through, and we saw what was available, but a lot of the schools were available only more international school, more available for the elite. So we wanted to impact Timor-Leste. Back then, 2-3 years ago, we already knew that Timor-Leste was already applying for the ASEAN status. And we said it's sooner or later Timor-Leste will get the ASEAN status. So we wanted to be part of that ASEAN growth story, because we are in ASEAN, so we understand what it's like to have access of education. Same level, so our goal has always been, why can't anybody get the same level of education regardless of the social class, regardless of where their starting point is? So we felt what a great place to be when we have someone like somewhere like Timor-Leste just about to come into ASEAN 2-3 years ago. I said, let's plant the seed 2-3 years ago. Don't plant it only when they become ASEAN, because that will be really exciting when that happens. So, lo and behold, 2-3 years later since we came, ASEAN was Timor-Leste became part of ASEAN, and it happened just across the road from where I live, in KLCC. So we knew back then 3 years ago, the time that's happened today for Timor-Leste to be an ASEAN nation was already planned many years back. But we fell in love with Timor-Leste the moment we landed on the country.
Well, on behalf of our country and population, thanks so much for trust us and invest your education in this country, because we needed something new for us and to develop our kids to make better in the regional plan, like Asian. So
yes,
how did idea for Pelican School begin, and what was your main vision for guide students across all stage learning in an international context?
Our team at AQUILA is an international team of educators. Not only that, we have built international schools as big as 3,000 kids at international schools. So when we saw the opportunity to do Pelican Grammar School in Timor-Leste, our vision was to do exactly the same thing. We said, why can't Timor-Leste have a 3,000 people international school that's of world standard? But the goal is to serve the people, to serve the kids of Timor-Leste, because these are the kids of the next generation. And what can we do to make that happen? So I think that was our vision, to take exactly what we already knew and said, we have seen how it can be done. Yes, it takes time, but we said, I think we can do it if we have the support of the community, and we make sure that whatever we do, we have the heart of the people at the core. That is the number one. So that's why today for Pelican Grammar School, I'm really proud to say that more than 80% of our student population are actually Timor-Leste citizens and kids from the local environment, and the rest are just kids from various different backgrounds. But we're so happy to have mostly kids from Timor-Leste, because we understand the culture. That's number one. But more importantly is we always wanted the information and knowledge transfer down to the community in a larger, broader context. And you can't do that if you don't understand the local community. And so, sometimes when we employ teachers, we try and employ a lot more local teachers who want to learn about international curriculum. Of course, we have parents sometimes who says, oh, you're an international school, you should hire even more foreigners. And I said to my team, I says, we can, but what's the point? It will be like another international school hire all the foreigners, but you don't have enough local teachers who learn about the foreign way of doing things not foreign so much, but in the ASEAN way of doing things, because locals understand locals better. Foreigner coming in, trying to understand locals will take a lot longer. So when we envision building a school where we can pass knowledge on to the local community. So when these teachers leave our school, or when the kids leave our school, they can then go out to the other schools to teach. That's the idea. So we that was our vision, and that was our goal for the day one.
Your vision is like a seed that you plant in the 3 years before,
Yes.
and then now your results is like a tree. You can
Yes.
take the fruit and try and taste and say that that's nice, that's a good quality that I wish.
Exactly.
That's the kind of education
Exactly.
that I have a vision.
Exactly. You plant the good seed as good as you can for the people, not take the seed that cannot. You don't want to take a fruit and a seed and put it in Timor-Leste where the ground cannot grow. You want to put the right fruit, the right seed for Timor-Leste so that it can grow. When you grow, generations later down, how the missionaries used to do school, hundreds of years later, they can see, hey, that seed is what the children need in Timor-Leste.
That's true. What the big challenge you faced during establish the school, particularly creating an international curriculum for diverse student body, and how did you overcome them?
I think when we came to Timor-Leste, our team was assembled to go into countries that we've never gone into before. So because we've not gone into countries that have never gone before, you have to learn from zero again. So when we came here, we don't pretend to know everything. We pretend to know nothing of the local environment, but we then take what we know and how to assimilate it. So I think, we hear some people say, the Timor's kids are not good in this, they're not good in that. The way we see is they're not good because they need help. So we try and build close gaps in many different areas. I think there were not many big challenges for us. I think biggest challenge, but we see challenge as exciting. So I would say the biggest excitement for us was, wow, we're going to learn something new. We're going to learn something where that's never done before. So I think that was something that we generally enjoyed. And sometimes, of course, we have surprises. Like when we first met Ministry of Education and they told us, you need 2 years to get your license. And we go like, oh dear, we didn't think 2 years. We thought maybe 6 months, right? So we thought, never mind, guys, we are here long term. If it takes us, let's take 2 years, but let's just start from zero. So we started thinking that maybe it'll take 2 years. But, we really thank God, and we thank the people, and we thank the government for their immense support. We got it in 6 months. And we got it 6 months just by following the rules and making sure that we did what we could the right way. So I think that was I would say, biggest challenge. I think it was every day we were like, wow, we found something new today. So I think till today, we really enjoyed the journey because something new we learn each day, some new kids that we learn something from, new aspirations. But I think the way that we went around making sure that we could attack the challenge better, again, was to hire as many local staff as possible. Our marketing team are locals. A lot of our teachers are locals. Our assistants are locals, because that was the fastest way to understand the local environment. So I think that's what we did.
What the personal values of or life experience shape your vision for AQUILA and Pelican Grammar School?
So I've been very fortunate through my career, although not very, very long, but fortunate through my career, work with leaders of all types of leaders who from various sizes of organizations, from startups to multinationals, to 160, 170-year-old companies, to much younger companies, leaders who love money, leaders who don't necessarily love money. So I've looked and understood leaders of many different types. So we wanted to build AQUILA, and we wanted to build a school under AQUILA, Pelican Grammar School, to be a school that is a humble school, a humble organization, organization that continuously learns. Because how can a school grow children if the leadership is not humble and learning? I always have challenged with other education institutions that I've met previously. They try and teach the kids to be humble and learning, but the school system has stayed like 100 years before, right? It's never changed. So we told the whole team, we have to be a learning organization. And we do it such that we are like a startup. So our principals don't have principal rooms. I don't have special rooms as a CEO. We all sit on the same table. We all work off the same table. So we try and do that because that way we remain humble and we remain a learning organization. So I think that's a personal value that I wanted the team to have as we build it in our local space. Yeah.
What are the core focus areas of Pelican Grammar School? How they respond to the educational needs for both local and international students?
AQUILA and Pelican Grammar School has the same mission. And the mission is to help the community discover their who I am. Let me explain if I may, sir. All of us are created by God to be a certain type of individual with certain strength, with certain talents already. That's what I call who I am. So in this kind of a scenario, what we're trying to do for kids is that we're trying to help kids discover their who I am, and then their community, their who I am. So our mission in Pelican Grammar School is to help them discover their who I am. We don't want to try and change them how they were intended to be built or created. We want to find out who are they intentionally built for. What are their strengths? So I think our focus area for us, besides curriculum, besides giving good education standards, is about helping the kids and the community, the parents, find out their who I am. Then that way they can shine to be the best that they were meant to be. Not what the school system tells them they need to be, or what the parents or society tells them they need to be, but who they are built to be. So that's our main focus that we do for the school and for the children.
Could you share a successful story or proud moment that reflects your school impact students, families, and community?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things that we are very proud of. When we first started the international school, as I mentioned, when we were told we needed to take 2 years to get our license, and then when we started to crack our head, okay, what are we going to do for 2 years then? Because we can't collect fees because we're not a school technically, so we didn't collect any fees. So I said, what are we going to do? So the team says, no, we can't really technically enroll children. I said, yeah, we can have children, but free education because I can't collect fees, right? I'm not technically a school yet. So what we first did was we did community work. So we went, did community work around the area where we were in, and we just spent time with the children in the space. I said, teachers, you're here. Why don't you just impact the community? It's not about the fees because we can't collect. It's not about running the school because it could be another 2 years before we could open. So let's just add back the community and spend time to understand them. So that, but fortunately, within about 6 months, we got our license. But in that 6 months, we were able to understand the people a lot better. I think that's one. I think second thing that I was really, really surprised and very proud actually of the kids is when I went to see them recently and met up with year 7 kids. And they were a really bright bunch of kids. I was so shocked, especially the ladies and the girls. They were so clear about what they want to do for the future. We had some students, we've got about 18 year 7 kids, amazing kids. And, they tell me, they said, we want to go out of Timor-Leste. I want to see the world and then come back later. So I said, how many of you want to go out to the world? We've got 18 kids, 18 hands went out. I said, we want to go out and see the world, learn, and then come back. So that's one. Number 2, I asked them, I said, so what do you want to be? I mean, year 7 means they're only 12-year-old, maybe 13-year-old. When I was a 12, 13-year-old, if you asked me, I wouldn't know what I was going to do. You know what the kids said to me, some of them? I want to be a diplomat. I'm already training myself to be a diplomat. I said, my gosh, You're 13 years old. You want to be diplomat? Yes, I have been training my public speaking for the last year to get ready for myself to be a diplomat. And I was like, my goodness, if we can have double, triple number of kids like that.
So
amazing.
You create a great leaders from Pelican. So it's going to be hopefully in the future can be our successful leaders in our country and role and guide our people to the best moments.
Yes. Exactly. So I think that's so powerful. It's credit to the parents. The parents must have seeded them the idea, but it's such a privilege for us then to be able to help these kids carry through their dream over the next 5-6 years into society, and then coming back to Timor to serve the country. That was something that we're so proud. Yeah.
I think so. The credit is not just the parents, but also with Mr. Gerard Kho for this vision that helped us to improve our students, to guide them to the best solution for our country. So that's I think so. It's a credit not just to their parents, but also your vision is the best credit that our country have.
Yes, we do it together. That's so powerful, right? 1 + 1 is equal more than 2.
That's true. As a CEO, what are daily routines that habits help you to stay focused and effective in managing a school with such diverse student populations?
Actually, it's not very difficult. It's not a very difficult job, honestly, because we always try and have hire team members who are better than me, people who are smarter than me, so that you grow so much easier because you have the comfort that you have better people than me. So I think we have a great team. We always try and look for even better people, and better people at every level. Some people are better at administration. Let them be better at administration than I am. If they're good at teaching and math, let them be better teacher than math than I am. So we build people who are better than who we are. And we tell our leaders to exactly do the same thing. Find people who are better than they are. So I think daily routine is always looking for people. But then also don't micro them, because when you hire the best people, then to tell them what to do does not make sense at all. So we try and get the best people on board, have them understand the vision and the mission, and then the journey gets a lot easier, and everyone then motivates themselves each day.
I think so. You create a best environment for the teachers and also for the students. Just can have a free mindset to do what the best way. By the way, from your vision that you have. So that's the reason why some students feel comfortable, and that's why also the teachers can teach and guide them for the best, for all solutions, and see any blockage in their road, they can see the solution for this blockage. So I think that's what you teach for us. Also, you're a role model also for me, because the way that you teach, you teach me also many things. So during the conversation, I can understand what you have a vision. So what are the leadership philosophy guides is you manage the school and your teams across all levels of education?
When I did my thesis about 10 years ago, I did my thesis in the area of leadership. And so since then, I've always tried to apply what I researched and what I wrote. And I think the philosophy is quite simple. It's about people at the end of the day. It is only about people. The product is fine, but it's all about people. So 3 things. Number 1 is we need to inspire people around us. Inspire them, help them see hope. That's 1. Number 2 is they have to be forward-centered, meaning you always got to look at the future backwards. You see into the future as much as you can, then you start doing the work today, thinking what the future could be like. So that's number 2. Number 3 is decisiveness. Just decide yes or no. There is no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong decision. The worst thing is no decision. So I think for us, at the end of the day, we teach the team the same thing. We call it three area, leadership, inspirational. You got to be forward thinking, and you just got to be decisive. So I think that's how we inculcate as a philosophy as well. Yeah,
a great philosophy. This can be inspired for also for not just for education, also for our guide during our life, and also for any entrepreneurs in around the world. So it's a great match.
Yes.
So what strategies that you use to ensure high quality international education for all students?
I think besides making sure that we have the best systems in place, the best people in place, besides that, ensuring that there's always a saying, in our own eyes we're always good, but you have to have some measurements to tell us whether we're good or not. So of course we get international curriculums, recognized curriculums, we follow as much as we can, yes, but sometimes you really need to do the most important thing, which is listen. You got to listen to what's happening on the ground, and you got to be learning, and you got to have the best people around us. I think those are some of the strategies we make sure that we have in place besides the standards. Sometimes the standards that we may bring in, example from ASEAN, may be too high for certain groups of kids, but actually may be too low for certain group of kids. So we actually have to be able to maneuver that. So we have to be able to learn how to adjust as well, because not all kids come from a similar background. Example, in a simple area of English, some of them are really strong in English. My gosh, they speak perfect English. They're perfect in articulating what they want. Then there are other kids in the same class that struggle, but they can converse that in another language, say in Tatum. Very clear, just the same. It's just a language issue. So what we try to do is we don't try and put a kid down because they don't understand English, but we lift both of them up because both understand what we're trying to say. It's just one speaks a different language from the other. No one is smarter than the other just because they can speak English better. So I think it's listening, learning, how to encourage the one who's not so confident to speak yet in English or converse. Have the one who are strong speak on behalf of the one who are not strong. And we saw that in the year 7 class this time. You have the kids who converse with the kid who's really good in English in Tatum, say, okay, I want you to explain like that. So then they translate. So the person who translates in English says exactly the same thing what the kid wants to say. But this kid who's not strong in English can still communicate exactly the same way. So I think listening, matching, trying to figure out how it works to build that confidence in a child.
It's like a puzzle. You try to match the correct piece for your vision.
Yes.
How do you ensure that curriculum remains relevant to students to follow and prepares them for a global standard and future academic pathways?
We spend quite a lot of time looking at what curriculum is best for the children that we're trying to attract. We've looked at Australian curriculum, we've looked at UK curriculum, we've looked at US curriculum, we've looked at all curriculums. We think that what we decided to put in place was a curriculum that's called the IGCSE, which is a UK-based curriculum. It's relatively structured, but not too structured. You can have more exams if you need to, but you can have less exams if you need to as well. So that is an international standard. When we pick a curriculum, we want to make sure that the child can take this as a passport and go as many places around the world as they can without being questioned. So I think that's what we did. We looked for curriculums, put that in place, and then I guess, we, more importantly, in today's time, you see, we are trying to build the kids and get the kids ready, especially if the kids is 5 years old. We're trying to get a kid ready to the workforce in about 20 years' time, in a job that probably doesn't exist today. So if we only take the best curriculum today and tell them this is the best for you, only curriculum, only studies, in 20 years' time, when that kid goes out to work, they will look at the world and go like, that doesn't even exist. What was taught, either the job no longer exists or the job never existed. So I think one of the other things that we try and do well is we try and make sure that the kids are resilient as well. That means they're adaptable as they go along.
So it's like mean that during the scholarship, you try to teach also how to be resilient, how to be adapt to the modern world,
Yes.
and to adjust any solution for in each problem.
Yes, absolutely.
How is a Pelican Grammar School integrate or adapting technological advance for enhanced learning for all students?
We try and have as much technology as a child should have at different age groups. Too much technology also for the younger ones also pose problems. I think the world of AI is a fantastic tool, but if not used properly, sometimes the child is not able to process and have logical thinking as well. So I think we have, of course, the basics must be there. We try and make sure that we have the fastest internet that we have, technology enough as tools, but not need so fast that they do no longer need to think. So I think it's always that balance. Do we get the best technology for them? Not necessarily. Do we need to get them the best? Not necessarily either. But what is the best for them at that point of time is something that we always put in place, yes.
How do you ensure that school core values are reflected daily operation and teaching practice across all levels?
Our core value is very simple. When we first started AQUILA, we have 6-7 core values, which after number 3, I can't even remember the rest of the 4. So what we decided to do was we decided to have one core value, and our core value, as you can see, is love. That's our one core value. So our one core value in the whole organization is just love. From AQUILA to Pelican Grammar School to all the schools we have is love. That's it. Very, very difficult. It's very simple 4 letters, but it's so hard to live by. Really hard to live by. So love for us means learning. We have to be learning. We have to be opportunistic. We have to be opportunistic and very open to things. We have to be very visionary, think future-centered, and we have to be empathetic. We have to understand the environment. So that's how we build our core value. And for most of us, to all of us, when we have Zoom meetings, digital meetings, the love is always there. The AQUILA logo is there. You know, if anyone tries to do anything that's not love, well, there you go, guys. You know, that's how we do it. So we try and keep it as simple as possible. Yeah.
It's a nice core because the first time I see something from some company or education things, because I was like, love, learn, open, visionary, empathy. The great ideas for AQUILA and to inspire people around this country. Yes. In your view, what are key competencies that effective founder or executive leader must have when managing an international school with both local and international students?
It is so simple as an answer too. So whoever we look for, principal, whoever the leaders are, the right people are, will they fit into the love or not? If they don't understand love, it doesn't fit in, because what else is there more important than ensuring that this core value is there? So for our principal, for any staff, even if certain core competencies may not be there, some principals are not so good in certain areas, marketing or certain areas, because a lot of them are academicians, we can always teach them, we can always groom them. But I think more importantly, as long as this core value of love, you can teach anybody.
What a major decision have you made that significantly shaped and grow our international curriculum for Pelican Grammar School?
I think, when it comes to education, it's a very, very sensitive issue, because you are dealing with someone else's most prized asset, their children. So I think when we understand the most important person in a school is actually the child, then you start to think and work everything from that angle. So the most important person in the school system is not the parent, not the staff, not the brand, but the child. So, and this is something that I learned from my team. Says the most important person, Gerard, is the child. Says, wow, that puts everything in perspective. So I think when we do that and have that as a perspective and have that as a key thing, then you only do things that make sense for that child. So when we look at initiatives, we look at ideas, and we look at curriculums, we always think, how does it benefit the child, or how does it benefit the child to understand their who I am? So I think whatever initiatives we put in place, we have got a lot of plans in 2026 that's coming up as well. We always think, how does it help the child? How does it grow to have more kids come to the school? We want to build a community where kids bring their friends, and kids don't want to go back home. Kids want, and they don't look forward to holidays. They look forward to coming back to the school because it's there where their friends are. And it's a safe place for them to grow and a safe place for them to express. Always a challenge because you have to make sure that the teachers understand that too. Sometimes teachers, being teachers, they have their own KPIs. They want to teach the kids as much information in the shortest time they can. I said that's really important. But more importantly is the child actually absorbs it, yes, one. But more importantly is the child actually grows in confidence through that process. Yeah.
Your kind of vision is like that in the Pelican Grammar School, it's going to be like when a kid come register and decide to, during his curriculum, he grew up and he's going to absorb all the knowledge that the teachers give. Also not just develop his skill, but also develop his confidence. That is very important for this world.
Most important.
Sorry?
Because there's no end to knowledge.
Oh, that's true.
No end to knowledge.
Also, is the kid is the key for development of the country. So
absolutely,
without a good platform for education, we cannot have a good human resource for develop to the visions for the good leaderships, or to the vision for entrepreneurs that can help and develop the country.
And they need to build the courage. Yes,
that's true. How do you ensure your team, teachers, and staff remains aligned with the school mission and education vision across all levels?
So we try and keep things as simple as possible. Try to keep things as little complicated as possible, just like us. One core value, easy to remember. Our mission for all our schools are the same. The mission for us is to help the community discover their who I am. Children, parents, community, discover who I am. The vision is exactly the same everywhere we go to. If we cannot build a school to be the city on the hill, as we do in Pelican Grammar School, we don't go and build it. We can't be the light and the city that shines where people go like can learn. We don't build that there. So we try to keep it very simple for all our schools. We try and keep it simple for our teams of teachers as well. I said, they always said to us, why is it important to keep the school clean? I say it's very important. Your city on the hill, right? City on the hill means they can see if the school is dirty. Would you like a city on the hill where the hill is dirty? It wouldn't. So to be the city on the hill means you've got more responsibility. So naturally, the teachers will want to keep things clean. Kids will want to speak well. They want to dress well. They want to learn well. So I think we try and keep things as simple as possible to ensure that all the staff are very, very clear about the vision, the mission, all right through, even down to the cleaners as well.
What are your hopes and expectations for the futures of education in Timor-Leste, particularly in preparing students, both local and international, for global opportunities?
I think we try and keep it simple. Already 3 years ago, we already knew that Timor-Leste has been trying to be the ASEAN country, 11th ASEAN nation. And obviously, it's such a long struggle. I think it's been more than a decade. but I think we came at the right time. So for our school, it's very simple. Our school is getting kids ready for the ASEAN environment. So if you look at our school, look at our website, our focus is how do we get kids ready for ASEAN. Getting kids for ASEAN is casting the vision for them as to where they can go. So I think our expectations and our hopes are that kids in Timor-Leste are going to be just like any other child from any other ASEAN nation, where they are going to be performing at that level, where people go like, they are at that level already. So I think that's our aspiration. That's our opportunity that we feel we want to lift as many up, where people are going to go, actually, I want to hire Timorese children. I want to hire Timorese adults groomed in a certain way because they already are thinking a certain way and they're ASEAN ready.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Before I don't know how to say, it's very like vibrant that the way that you say it about opportunities that you give to the students. So thank you so much a lot for the opportunity that you give to the young people and kids to can develop their confidence and make sure that they can guide for years in the accept any challenge without any difficult things, and if you see any difficult they can jump and go forward and forward and forward.
Absolutely, and they can.
I believe.
Absolutely, they can.
How do you view Timor-Leste integration and the future in Asians, especially in the context international education and regional collaboration?
I think it's so good when we have a ASEAN standard for education for our Timorese children in Timor-Leste. It makes it so easy. So we always need to look at what's the curriculum that allows them easily for that passport, and that's the reason why we keep on saying we choose the IGCSE, because in ASEAN you take that as a passport. Everyone recognizes that as a passport, and they will not ask you, where did you take the IGCSE from? Because they don't really care. As long as you got that, you are the same level playing field as anybody else in ASEAN.
So this GSE you can bring to the Europe and compete with the same level with the European students?
Anywhere. You can go Australia, you can go US, you can go anywhere in the world, because IGCSE is recognized. Is one of the most recognized passports in the world. At least in ASEAN, you can easily get around. But even if you want to go any university in the US, is recognized. In Australia, is recognized. Singapore is recognized. Any part of ASEAN is recognized. So I think that's the best part of it.
It's amazing. It's the first time I hear, because as far as I know, not all schools can give a GSE. Some need to pass. Some need to pass a test.
Yes, you still need to pass the test, but I think what we are trying to think in 2026 is how do we offer this to more kids? We're trying to think through that, but we're not trying to rush through, but we want to try to see how we process that as well.
Because hopefully that you can settle another seeds in the other cities across of the country.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly.
What your key priorities or strategic plans for Pelican Grammar School from 2025 to 2013, including the planned expansion to higher levels of education?
I think we at AQUILA level, we have a lot of big dreams, but we also try to make sure that we are very focused. So I think for Timor-Leste at the AQUILA level, I've already started Pelican Grammar School 3 years ago in Timor-Leste, or 2 years ago in Timor-Leste. In 2026, we will be doing something else also, which we will announce hopefully in about a month time. That is another initiative that will help even more Timorese who are not necessarily kids who can go through Pelican Grammar School, because we also understand not all kids can afford Pelican Grammar School. So we want to see what we can do. So hopefully we're working hard. Maybe we can announce something in a month or so. And when that happens,
hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
hopefully.
I can have a feedback from your school, and then maybe one day I can say to my kids, I have an opportunity to interview with the great leader from the education.
Yes, yes, yes. We are looking forward to be. Hopefully, we're working hard, but certainly by January we'll make the announcement, and we'll be able to share that a little bit more about our next investment by AQUILA in Timor-Leste.
How you prepare yourself and the school to embrace the future opportunities in the international education landscape, both nationality and with Asian?
I think number one is they need to have the certificate that we talked about, the IGCSE that we want to give them. That's one. But I think with the landscape in ASEAN, and ASEAN's moving very fast. It's one of the fastest growing regions in the world now. We want to prepare the kids to be the best version of themselves. We want to spend more time developing kids' confidence, the kids' ability to be very adaptable. So that's why we want to build their who I am better. Because what we see so far in Timorese culture and people as a nation, it's a nation of fighters. It's a nation of we can do it, why not? So already inherent in everybody is like we can do it. So all we have to do is, why can't you do it now? That's all we're doing. So I think that's why we're so excited, especially when, more recently when I see the little ones, even 5, 6-year-old, even the 13, 14-year-old, I'll ask him, I said, my goodness, I spoke to one boy, he said, your English is so good. He says, oh, thank you. And I said, can you explain to me why your English is so good? And he went through the next 3 minutes explaining in such great logical detail why he said his English is so good as it is. Then I said, how is it that you became so brave in doing what you do? He said, oh, because my parents encouraged me and my teachers encouraged me also. So I think the missing link is not so much the competency, is just giving the confidence that you can. That's all actually. But because inherently it's there. So I think really to prepare the children, confidence, and telling them that they can. Because actually they have arrived as the 11th ASEAN nation members already, right? So now it's just doing it.
So the 3 keys is readiness, confidence, and move on to your future. So that's I think is a logical things for any student can grow up in Pelican Grammar School.
Yes, absolutely.
Now that Timor-Leste is an official Asian member and more Asian countries may open school here, what opportunities do you think that creates for Pelican School or any international school serving both local and international students?
I think it's so good if more people see that there's opportunity to open international schools here, because there's so much we can do in Timor-Leste. Competition to me is always amazing. Competition is exciting because if you don't have competition, sometimes the team becomes complacent. We become complacent because, I'm the best, so, we can just continue the way we do. But when you have competition, you're never the best. You could be the best today, you're not the best next week maybe. So it keeps us sharp. I mean, we understand all this text that we have learned since we are young. Iron sharpen iron, we love iron sharpening iron. We've come from environments where we are in always intense competition. So competition does make us sharper, but I think competition also makes us humble and makes us always wanting to learn. So I think seeing competitors or new people coming into the market, I think it's just that each one needs to find their own crowd and their own space. So we never see any of the other international schools as a competitor. Actually, when we first started our international school here, if I may share, we actually went to the #1 international school in Timor at that time and said, I will just want to let you know that we are coming to Timor, whether there was an opportunity for us to work together. I think I remember the founders will like flip off the chair. Why would you want to talk to us and tell us that? Because I said, we don't see you as competition. But then unfortunately the competitors saw us and says, but we see you as competition. Says, okay, so we don't see that. We see is how do we do it? How can we do it better together?
What challenge do you think Pelican Grammar School might face with the arrivals of a new Asian-based schools in Timor-Leste, and how in the school prepare for new levels of competitions?
I think like we said a little bit earlier, we're used to competition already all the time. Our team are international school operators for the last 20, 30 years. We're already used to competition. We sometimes see if there's no competition, it's like, hey, how do we operate without competition? Because nobody's telling us we're not doing a good job. And so we are very proud when we came to Timor and when we started doing our posts online on our website, and we start to see our competitors, also change their website. I said, hey, that's so good, right? Because everybody's lifted up, and I said, and then some of the teammates go like, no, that's not good, that's competition. I said, this is why we want to be the city on the hill. Everybody gets better, right? So which means we have to get better all the time. So I think competition for us is amazing. Competition means that at the end of the day, the kid gets the best deal in town.
Also, competitions help to develop our skills for any situations.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you balance your responsibility as a both founder and CEO with your personal life while overseeing a school with a diverse students body?
I think it's again trying to keep things simple. I'm sitting on a couple of businesses, but my role is exactly the same. My role is helping leaders be better at what they do. My role is inspiring leaders to do the job better. Regardless of which organization I'm in, I'm doing exactly the same thing. So I always try to simplify my life. I come from various different backgrounds, marketing, a little bit of finance, a bit of capital raising, but I realized you can't wear too many hats at the same time. So over the last couple of years, it's always been about how do we help leaders be better at what they do. So to keep it balanced, keep it very simple for my daily life is my job is just to help you do your job better. That's all. I'm not here for your job. I don't need your job. I'm just here to make sure your job is better. That's it.
What a lesson do you ever learn throughout of your leadership journey that you consider essential for nation and international school?
I think learning, continuous learning as an organization, but as an individual. Learning doesn't mean only reading books and listening to podcasts, and that it doesn't mean that. Learning means understanding what we are not good at. Learning also means allowing ourselves to make mistakes and not to penalize ourselves, to know that it's just part of knowing what you don't know. So I think it's just that, and then you keep on doing it because there is kind of no end to learning because the environment changes all the time.
That's true. We must adjust and adapt to the environment.
Exactly.
What advice has had a great impact on your personal and professional growth as an education leader?
I'm not sure whether it's appropriate to speak on the show, but for me, it's very simple. I have a lot of mentors, different type of mentors, spiritual mentors or, business mentors. But my spiritual mentors always tell me, you only play to audience of one. I say, what are you talking about? You play to audience of one. I say, you play to God only, right? Yeah, you have to only play to God. We only play to audience of one because he says, if you don't play to audience of one, you could be tempted by other things that sways you away from the main mission that we are on. You should play the audience of one. So I think greatest impact for me is do that in all aspects of my life, my family, my work. I play the audience of one. So, sometimes I may do things that are a little bit unpopular, but it's okay. I say I'm here not to entertain men, but I'm here to make sure that I do a good job for the audience of one.
What kind advice that you can give to us and to any investor from Asian or especially from Malaysia can come into our country and invest in education or other areas?
I think come to Timor, Timor-Leste because you want to impact the nation. Don't come to Timor-Leste because you want to make money. I think that's my 2 cents worth. Come here and see the opportunity that there is here, because there's so much that the people need and so much more that we can already give to the people. But it's about giving back, and how do you develop the nation together. It is not a short-term game. You have to think of it as a long-term game. As we learned from month number 1 of opening the school, like we said, we thought the application process will take 6 months. Then they told us that it take 2 years. So don't be surprised with new things. But if you see Timor-Leste as a long-term investment, especially in the education space, then your strategy will not be a short-term one. So I think the advice I would give to anybody who wants to come to Timor-Leste is just that. Think long-term. You could move faster. Yes, it can. It depends on what product we are launching. But think long-term. Yeah.
Thanks so much for your inspired words for future leaders and for entrepreneurs to come in to invest in to Timor-Leste, because as a new member, as a 11 Asian, we are pleasure to have anyone from any part of the region, inclusive now for Malaysian, to invest and develop our people, create a best environment for resource, and to do a best moment for investment. Also, final, how you define success in just 3 words based on your own philosophy?
Success is where you see a change in the other person for the better. That's how I see it. I can't say in 3 words, but success is when we see change in the other person for the better. That's
wow. That's I see now. You change even that we have just a few interviews and a few questions. So you changed me, and hopefully you can change our views during the interview, because amazing. I just we start at the F4 and until F3, and your words is inspire not just me but our future leaders and future kids and teenagers and all adults, and to develop their own skill to get to see that the opportunities is everywhere. And if you not shape your mindset, you cannot adapt to the environment. So education is the best solution for any developed country.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Mr. Gerard Kho, it's a pleasure to talk with you. And on behalf of the company, Invest People, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity for interview with you, and you share your knowledge and share your visions and how you develop the Pelican Grammar School. And thank you so much for give opportunity for our kids to raise in the best environment, peaceful, and a great vision for the leadership for this country and for the region, also for Asian. And thank you so much a lot.
More than happy to share more in the future.
Hopefully. And hopefully in the 3 years or 1 year, I don't know, we can reschedule again and talk and see the vision of you in the 3 years in this country.
Thank you very much for your time and opportunity.
I wish you all successful and opportunities in this country that can give to you. And thank you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Invest People is a human resource and consultant agency that provide a wide range of professional service to support individuals and organizations in achieving growth and success. Its core services include training, recruitment, consulting, and coaching. Invest People offer a variety of training programs aimed to enhance the skill and competence of individuals and organizations. These training programs can include leadership and management training, work ethic training, human resource training, project management training, logistic training, and more training, which is required by the institution. Invest People often assist institutions in providing recruitment service across various fields tailored to specific needs of each institution for both national and international companies. Invest People provide a wide range of consulting service to support business and organizations in various aspects of their operations. These services include coaching, team building, organizational development, business strategic consulting, business startup support, marketing and sales consulting, as well as additional consulting service tailoring to specific needs of its business or organization. For more information, contact Invest People on email iptloffice@gmail.com, phone number +670 7796 9031, and Facebook page IP Timor.